Admiral Zarath of the Vorthak Empire clutched the crystalline communicator with trembling claws, her three eyes wide with disbelief. The transmission from the Outer Rim had arrived just moments ago, carrying news that would reshape the galaxy's understanding of everything. "Impossible," she whispered, her voice echoing through the command chamber of the flagship Dominion's Edge. The holographic display before her showed grainy footage of massive structures emerging from what had appeared to be empty space near the Sol system, humanity's unremarkable corner of the galaxy. For 3 centuries, the galactic community had known humans as a young, primitive species, barely capable of faster than light travel. They possessed crude chemical rockets, basic energy shields, and weapons that seemed almost quaint compared to the advanced civilizations that ruled the stars. The Vorthak Empire alone commanded over 47 star systems, their bioships capable of consuming entire moons for fuel. Yet the footage before Admiral Zarath told a different story entirely. The first ship to decloak was massive beyond comprehension, easily 20 kilometers in length, its hull a seamless black material that seemed to absorb light itself. As more vessels emerged from their concealment, the scope of humanity's deception became clear. Hundreds of warships, each one dwarfing the largest Vorthak dreadnought, floated silently in formation around Earth's moon. "Analysis complete, Admiral," reported her tactical officer, Kethmore, his normally steady voice cracking with strain. "Energy signatures are off our scales. Those vessels, they're not using any propulsion technology we recognize. No plasma drives, no quantum tunneling engines, nothing. They're just there." Zarath had witnessed the birth and death of stars, had commanded fleets that brought entire civilizations to their knees. But nothing had prepared her for this revelation. The humans, those bumbling newcomers who had been the subject of galactic jokes for centuries, possessed a fleet that could potentially challenge every major power simultaneously. The communication array crackled to life, broadcasting on all known frequencies. The voice that emerged was calm, measured, and spoke in perfect galactic standard, though the accent was unmistakably human. "This is Fleet Admiral Sarah Chen of the Terran Deep Space Command. To all civilizations currently monitoring this transmission, we apologize for the deception, but it was necessary for our survival and development." The image that materialized showed a middle-aged human woman in a uniform, unlike anything the galactic community had seen before. Behind her, through a viewport, the curved hull of one of the massive vessels was visible. "For the past 400 years, since we first detected your civilizations, we have maintained this facade. We allowed you to see only what we wanted you to see: outdated technology, limited capabilities, a species struggling to reach beyond its home system. In truth, we have been preparing." Admiral Zarath felt her blood chill. 400 years. That meant humans had been watching, learning, planning since before the Vorthak Empire had even made first contact with them. "We studied your technologies, your tactics, your weaknesses," Admiral Chen continued. "We learned from the Zephyrian Crystal Wars, analyzed the fall of the Nexus Coalition, observed the brutality of the Kalash genocide. Each conflict taught us valuable lessons about galactic politics and the price of appearing weak." The tactical display updated with new data as more human vessels revealed themselves throughout known space. They weren't just around Earth, they were positioned near every major trade route, every strategic choke point, every fleet assembly point in the galaxy. How long had they been there, invisible, watching? "Our ships don't use conventional propulsion because we moved beyond such primitive methods centuries ago," Chen explained. "What you're seeing represents humanity's true technological capability: warships, built not just for destruction, but for protection. Protection of not just our own species, but of the balance that keeps this galaxy from tearing itself apart." Zarath's communication officer looked up with panic in his eyes. "Admiral, we're receiving similar transmissions from across the galaxy. Human fleets are revealing themselves everywhere. Near Callus Prime, around the Nexus remnants, even in the sacred territories. The implications were staggering. Every major civilization in the galaxy had been living under the unknowing protection or threat of human surveillance. Every war, every expansion, every diplomatic crisis had potentially been observed and evaluated by these hidden watchers. "We have no desire for conquest," Admiral Chen's message continued. "Our goals have always been preservation and stability." But recent events, the Vorthak expansion into the Kepler sectors, the Zephyrian arms buildup, the whispers of another Nexus revival, have forced our hand. The galaxy stands on the precipice of a war that could consume billions of lives. On the tactical display, human vessels began moving into defensive positions around key systems. Not aggressive formations, protective ones. They were positioning themselves between potential combatants, creating buffer zones that would make large-scale warfare nearly impossible. Therefore, effective immediately, the Terran Deep Space Command is implementing the Stability Protocol. Any act of aggression by one civilization against another will result in immediate intervention. We will not allow another genocide. We will not permit another species to be driven to extinction for resources or territory. Admiral Zarath realized, with growing horror, that her empire's carefully planned invasion of the Rigel colonies would now be impossible. The humans had positioned themselves directly in the path of the Vorthak fleet's projected route. Any attempt to proceed would mean engaging these mysterious warships with their unknown capabilities. "We understand this revelation will cause shock, anger, perhaps fear," Chen concluded. "But ask yourselves this, in the centuries we have been watching, how many conflicts have mysteriously fizzled out before they could escalate? How many technical failures prevented weapons of mass destruction from being deployed? How many times have crucial intelligence leaks prevented the worst possible outcomes?" The transmission ended, leaving the galaxy in stunned silence. Admiral Zara stared at the display showing the human fleet, realizing that everything she thought she knew about galactic politics, about power, about humanity itself, had been carefully orchestrated fiction. The humans hadn't been hiding their weakness, they had been hiding their strength, waiting for the moment when revelation would serve the greater good. And now, with their secret exposed, the galaxy would never be the same. In the depths of space, the silent watchers had finally chosen to reveal themselves, and with that revelation came a new era, one where humanity would serve as the galaxy's unexpected guardians, whether the other civilizations wanted protection or not.